For those of you who saw all 9 seasons of Suits and you were so in love with the biggest closer in New York City, how you thought that he had no baggage. I mean, this guy didn't even walk around with briefcases. Think again, because Harvey's biggest baggage was his mommy issues, and they were so big that we needed a whole season just for his therapy sessions.
Hi, my name is Susan, and on this video I'm going to be sharing with you some of my thoughts on Harvey and how his childhood trauma led to his struggles as an adult. Now, even though Harvey Specter is a fictional character, his struggles are incredibly practical and they are relatable. Spoiler warning, by the way, if you've not seen Suits and you don't want spoilers, save this video and come back after you do. Let's talk about what we know about Harvey. His full name is Harvey Reginald Specter. He grew up in Riverside, New York, and was extremely broke. He met Jessica Pearson, who was impressed by how clever he was and his negotiation skills, that she volunteered to pay for his tuition at Harvard Law. So of course, the things we love about Harvey is very smart, he's confident, he takes initiative, although sometimes he made decisions that Jessica didn't particularly like. He was also willing to go through extreme lengths for those that he cared about. Harvey, as we can see, was a workaholic. He was quite excellent at his work. That said, Harvey was also a very arrogant character. He was not exactly the best model, but to be quite frank, he was very entertaining with his comebacks, his banter with Jessica and Mike.
Actually had girlfriends after high school, which you wouldn't know because emotionally you never graduated.
Well, I guess you're the expert because the only thing you graduated from is high school.
How he would win cases in court, how he would bluff with other lawyers, how he would also attack Louis. That was a bit toxic, but it was fun to watch as well.
Now, Louis, before you decide how to play the hand that could clean you out, I want you to think of our entire history. Of me always winning, and you always losing.
Anyway, behind that tough exterior, Harvey had a lot of serious issues growing up, childhood trauma that affected his relationships, both professional and personal. So this is where it all started. When Harvey was 15, he came back home from school one day and he found his mom having an affair. And that wasn't bad enough. She made him promise not to tell anyone. Of course, Harvey didn't also want to hurt his father's feelings, so he did not tell his dad about it. And he basically watched his mom cheat in silence for years. Imagine bearing the burden of keeping such a heavy secret for all of your childhood. Fast forward to adult Harvey. He's basically stuffing all these emotions down and replacing them with work and more work, because it's just easier to replace those with trying to crush your goals and winning cases and being super successful and feeling superior to every other lawyer in the city. But let's talk about how this trauma affected him personally and professionally. First of all, Harvey deeply prioritized how he wanted people to see him. He had a desire to always be the best. He would avoid a situation where he's not seen as good enough, and sometimes he would actually not even take a case if he knew that it would spoil his track record of winning. We can tell that he overcompensates for his vulnerability or what he experienced as a kid by making sure that he's the best. This flawless track record was a shield for him as an adult, a way to protect himself from ever feeling helpless or rejected. After all, like they say, success is the best revenge. Now, we also noticed that Harvey had issues with commitment, and this was because he found it hard to trust people again after his mom's infidelity. He became a flirt, and you will see that his character had casual relationships with multiple women. In addition, he also didn't want a situation where there was a reoccurrence of what he had witnessed his father experience. He had been hurt badly before, and he kind of created a layer to protect himself. You would see that he was very reluctant to form deep connections with the people in his life. The whole situation with Donna, for example. Donna is a secretary for 12 years, right? And it's so much easier for him to just have her as his secretary than to give into any feelings or get vulnerable with her. Even when Donna asked him to his face and was like, does my relationship with Steven bother you? And he was like, yes, it bothers me. But he didn't really, dwell on the topic of them being together. We also see this issue with commitment and I would say loyalty play out with his relationship with Mike. That one time when Mike had to protect himself with Jessica, it was like a case between Harvey and Jessica. He had something that would have made he and Harvey win, so he had to submit it to Jessica so that Jessica would win. And Jessica basically threatened him, like, and was like, hey, if you don't give me this thing now, I'm going to report you to the DA, basically, or whoever was going to, discover that he didn't go to law school and make an example of him. I guess what surprised me about this was how personally Harvey took this, because this was Mike protecting himself from potentially going to jail. And Harvey was like,
Harvey, I am sorry, all right, but I need you to listen to me now.
Listen to you? You know when I would have listened to you? That night.
Jessica threatened me.
I don't care. Anyone comes at you with any threat at all, you come to me. I don't give a shit if it's the Queen of England. You come to me, you tell me everything. That's what goddamn loyalty is.
And I'm like, Harvey, like this is a different situation. Like, I mean, anything could go wrong here and Mike would be literally wearing a prison uniform. Also, we see in the relationship with Rachel and Mike how Harvey came in here. Harvey, you see how he felt about commitment play out when he found out that Rachel was cheating on Mike. And remember how he exposed her right on the stand during the mock trial that they had. And I thought that was just awful, really.
Did you vow to remain faithful to Mr. Ross throughout your marriage?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, then I guess when you cheated on him with Logan Sanders, it means you lied to him at that non-existent ceremony, just like you're lying to all of us right now.
Another thing about Harvey is that he cared, but he never wanted to show that he cared. He would say things like,
I thought you were against emotions.
I'm against having emotions, not against using them.
I believe that Harvey thought that people would take advantage of him if they know that he cares about something deeply or someone. So, I mean, this guy witnessed his father literally open himself up and get betrayed. And so I am not exactly surprised that he's doing that, because this is something he saw growing up. So Jessica confirmed that this was something that he did, that is, caring but not showing it, when she said, you pretend like you don't care what you do. You care about the people you work with, care about the people you work for, but you care about every one of your clients, but you refuse to let people know. And Harvey, was just looking in silence uncomfortably, because he knew it was true and he had no defense against this. But also, remember when Donna was almost going to jail and he was doing all he could to save her? Donna got herself into trouble, I think pretended to be a Fed or something. I talked more about this in this video here, where I talked about how I feel Donna was the most annoying character in Suits. But let's not digress. He told her then that he didn't have time to do the comfort thing. So you can tell that Harvey was just a softie stuck in someone else's body, I would say. As Harvey goes through therapy, he begins to let people in more, show care, vulnerability, show how much he values and respects Louis after attacking him a million times. I think it wouldn't be out of place to say that Harvey's fear of vulnerability and his need to be perfect and better than others came from his childhood experiences. Harvey buried these emotions so far deep in success and ambition that I'm sure to him it must have felt like a healthy outlet, but it obviously wasn't. You could also say the same for the fact that he took up boxing. Everyone knows that boxing is a great outlet for pent-up emotion, but I feel it could have also just been a sport that he loved, so I'm going to try not to read any deep meaning into that. So the point is, this repressed emotion had to find a way somehow out. Came out through panic attacks, struggles with commitment, putting others down like he did with Louis because it made him feel better about himself. Even sometimes through physical fights, because you could see that Harvey was quite physical with people.
Mommy. And it turns out that the whole time you were home with Daddy, Mommy was out banging.
I don't think this video is just about Harvey. It speaks to a deeper issue, and it's the idea that men are expected to keep everything in, never show weakness or vulnerability. Men are told to bury emotions, and these emotions end up coming out more explosively, or coming out worse and harmful to themselves and people that they care about. Also, I think it's about, when you have to deal with a Harvey in real life or someone similar. I would think that we don't have a majority of people like that in real life, but I think it's helpful to also presume that someone could be dealing with trauma from childhood, and that could help to understand their behavior to an extent instead of, jumping to judge them. Harvey wasn't just arrogant or emotionally distant for no reason, as we can see. His past really shaped the way that he saw the world and people around him. And yeah, it doesn't make everything that he did okay. It just gives you some insights into why people are the way they are sometimes. So people usually act sometimes out of their own pain, even if they don't realize it. Everyone has their own battles, even if we can't always see them. So it's fair to say that Harvey's journey just teaches us that suppressing your hurt never is the answer. No matter how hard it is, you should face it. I hope this was a good word for you. If you found this deep dive into Harvey's character interesting, hit that like button and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Harvey ever truly healed from his trauma based on the 9 seasons that we saw? If you're into more character deep dives like this, make sure to subscribe. There's so much more to uncover in Suits and other TV shows and movies. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. I got an interest in doing this because I watch movies and I decided to try something else, something different on this channel where I talk about movies and my perspective, like how I feel about characters in a movie or TV show. I have a couple of them down the line that I'm thinking to talk about. My top TV shows right now, they might change down the line, but right now in this order are the first is Black Mirror. No, The Office is my best, followed by, I think it's between Ozark and Black Mirror. I can't tell now because it's been a while I saw Ozark. I saw Black Mirror it's been a while I saw Black Mirror. I saw Ozark recently, so I would say Ozark because it's pretty recent, followed by Black Mirror and probably Suits. So I might do a character review on some of these series. If there are series or TV shows that you've seen that you would like me to do a review on, let me know as well.